Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're trying out a really cool team featuring a lot of unique sets such as Choice Specs Arcanine, Weakness Policy Primarina, Life Orb Dig Urshifu for Max Quake, and Adrenaline Orb Dubwool. Dubwool is definitely the Pokemon I'm hoping to feature the most, but overall there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with this team. It was built by a player called Daria. I've linked her Twitter in the description below, and she was able to finish top 4 in the same grassroots tournament that I've been talking about in the last couple of days. The previous team we were using was able to take first place in that tournament, and this team was able to make it to the top 4. So congrats to Daria for a really great run, and this is definitely a unique team, so I'm eager to feature it. You can do a lot of cool stuff. One thing I saw specifically on Twitter that she pointed out is you can lead Urshifu Amoonguss and go Max Quake Sludge Bomb into opposing Clefs and just KO them. So that's like a really cool combo that you can go just straight for turn 1, getting that special defense boost. So I have actually never really seen Dig on Urshifu before, but I think it's a very unique way to get around, you know, some of the stronger special attacks in the format, especially if you're Dynamaxing Urshifu, and Urshifu, I think, is one of the 2 Pokemon that is going to want to max with this team. It's either going to be Urshifu or Primarina the majority of the time. You know, I think Choice Specs Arcanine is a set that very few players ever expect. You're able to do a lot more damage than, you know, players normally anticipate. They normally think, okay, Arcanine's just going to come in, maybe disrupt me a little bit with Intimidate and Snarl, maybe Burns, but this Arcanine can just come out and pack a lot of damage. Of course, Dubwool is a really interesting pick as well, especially with Adrenaline Orb. With this team, because Urshifu is such a prime sweeper, often players are going to want to lead Intimidate into it, namely, you know, opposing Arcanines, and so Dubwool can take advantage of that, get the speed boost, and then just go for Cotton Guards, and then basically be very, very difficult to knock out. So, excited to feature this team. Once again, it's a rental team, so feel free to try it yourselves. Code is in the description below, and let's get started with today's episode. Alright, looking for our first opponent of the day. Question of the day, by the way, with us using Dig on this Urshifu, or I should say the original creator putting Dig on this Urshifu. I really love that as kind of a surprise tech move. And my question of the day is, I'm curious what your favorite kind of surprise tech move is on any Pokemon set, whether it be a more standard Pokemon or something a little bit more unconventional. Let me know in the comments below. We're going up against a really cool Rain team for the first game today with Drednaw. Politoed Drednaw, so that's like a Rain core. You've got Volcarona for redirection, Duraludon, you know, fits really nicely onto Rain teams in general, and then Urshifu is the last one. So, can we make use of Dubwool here? Probably not, because my opponent's team is so much on the special side. I guess there's Urshifu, but Urshifu can just crit through us anyway. Dealing with the Ludicolo scares me a lot here. I don't think we have great Ludi answers. So maybe we want to max Urshifu. Max Quake on this. Arcanine has Snarl. I think Amoonguss is probably going to be really important. I could see Volcarona being Safety Goggles Rage Powder though, which would definitely hurt a little bit. Can we go Dubwool? I don't think so. I want to go Urshifu, Primarina, Amoonguss. Arcanine's still interesting because I do have... I mean, Spec Snarl doesn't seem like it's that good here. You know what? I'm going to bring Dubwool. We can Wild Charge into the Politoed and the Drednaw, which is pretty cool, but... I don't know, there's not much weather control here, so I'm a little nervous about this matchup, to be honest. Well, let's see. I think the main thing is that we don't have much that threatens the Drednaw or the Ludicolo in its 3 turns of Dynamax, nor can we turn the speed into our favor, which is the problem. But it's going to be Volcarona and Duraludon, which I guess I honestly don't mind that much. Actually, probably one of the better case scenarios, because I'm actually going to max the Urshifu here, I think Quake into the Duraludon, and go for a Hyper Voice. Yeah. This is actually maybe one of the best case scenarios. Like, Rain was a lot scary to see, but the thing is, if you're leading Volcarona and Duraludon, you're probably going to max the Duraludon often. It also means that, you know, even if you have Poly and Ludi in the back, it doesn't put on immediate pressure turn 1. Plus, I get special defense boosts, which is really valuable in both of these Pokemon. So, cool. We get to max Urshifu immediately, use Max Quake, which is always fun. The only problem here is if it's, like, Weakness Policy Duraludon. I guess this is interesting because, like, I could have just gone Surging Strikes Moonblast turn 1, too. Right? Because Volcarona can't protect in front of us. But I really wanted to max and just get a special defense boost on the board, especially considering my opponent's team is, you know, special Pokemon right now. They're going to commit the Dynamax too. Okay, so I mean, Max Quake's still going to do a hefty amount. I'm hoping it's like Assault Vest Duraludon. That's the best case scenario. So we'll see if Rage Powder comes out, because one play I definitely could have made was just Searching Strikes, Max, and Starfall, but then maybe the Duraludon just KOs us. See if there's a Rage Powder. No Rage Powder. Okay. Maybe Struggle Bug then from Volcarona? Oh, that's really good damage from Max Quake. Wow. Nice. That did 60% immediately. And we get the special defense boost, which is the more important part. I think we should survive like a Max Lightning on Urshifu if they go for it. It is going to be Struggle Bug, yeah. Okay. I don't mind that too much. I mean, I'm not going to do any damage to Duraludon with the Primarina here, unfortunately, but it has Max Overgrowth. Interesting. Into Primarina, too. Wow. Almost KOs us. That did more than I expected, I gotta say. Because Primarina's special defense is pretty good. But we're actually Weakness Policy Primarina, so it all comes together. And I get a big Hyper Voice off now, too. So that's Solar Beam Duraludon. And it's Life Orb, too. Wow. Okay, well, we get a huge Hyper Voice off here. Almost picking up a double KO. Volcarona has a Berry, but that's fine. Yeah, that's honestly a great turn 1. I wish I Moonblasted instead, but Urshifu doesn't even end up taking any damage, which is quite nice. So, let's see what I want to do here. Volcarona is almost always, not often. Like, I'd be shocked if you weren't running Rage Powder on that right now. So I think Life Orb Quake picks up the knockout anyway, so I could pretty easily just Quake into the Volcarona and Moonblast. Well, I guess Hyper Voice covers for switches here. Even though my opponent has Overgrowth, that's not KOing Urshifu after 2 special defense boosts, I think. But can't believe it's Life Orb with Overgrowth. Because normally you want Dark or Electric as coverage, so it either doesn't have Protect, or it's just given up one of the coverage moves you normally use. Okay, Volk switches out. So I could have targeted the... Poly comes out. That's a little frustrating. I could have targeted the Duraludon, but I wanted another special defense boost here. Because I could attack through Protect, right? Yeah, we could have probably just won the game off this turn, but this is still fine, right? Because you either are... Wow, actually, that did so much damage. You're either overgrowthing into the Urshifu, or you're targeting Primarina. If you overgrowth into Urshifu, I probably just pick up a double KO. If you target Primarina, then you still haven't touched my Dynamax Duraludon. And it does have Max Darkness, but it doesn't KO us. Yeah, I think my opponent, probably forgot about me getting another special defense boost potentially with Max Quake. This duel worked out even better than I expected it to. Okay, we don't KO the Politoed, but that honestly should just be game over, because we have 2 special defense boosts on the Urshifu now, and 1 more turn to Dynamax. And I've got a Primarina. Dishing out a lot of damage right now because the weakness policy was activated. I did not expect this lead to play out as well as it did, but this is the beauty of Max Quake Urshifu. I think if my opponent just led like Ludicolo Volcarona or Ludicolo Politoed, this game would have been a lot scarier, but they didn't. So now we have 2 special defense boosts on the Urshifu. I mean, a late game Ludicolo I still have to watch out for, and that is Ludicolo coming in right now. So that's pretty scary, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, Knuckle should just KO the Politoed here. So I think I'm okay with just knuckling Politoed and Moonblasting into Ludicolo. Because then you give me a free switch in. Like, we'll trade knockouts. Actually, I think the better play would have been to... Oh, they're helping handing. Interesting. I wonder if that KOs Urshifu then. If you have Leaf Storm, probably, right? Yeah. Does pick up the knockout. Okay, I wasn't expecting Helping Hand. That's a really nice play. It's not over yet. And this is what I mean, right? Ludicolo is just so dang good. We know that's not Life Orb, so that's actually probably Assault Vested. This puts Amoonguss in a fantastic spot this next turn, though. Oh, that is not... Oh, we crit. Okay, maybe that was AV. Well, the crit will seal it up for sure. Kind of anticlimactic. I think we were actually fine anyway, though, because I'd actually just bring in double afterwards. Or Amoonguss, and I probably just click Spore into the Politoed slot. But it could be Goggles Volcarona. Let's bring out double now, though. Yeah, we actually get to bring out double, and actually has pretty good coverage right now. I can just double edge into Volcarona or Wild Charge into the Politoed. Now Heat Wave will do some damage, but not enough that it matters here, I think. So I'm content just going Double Edge into Volcarona and Moonblast into Politoed. I think with the rain being up, Double should be fine despite its ability. Maybe bringing out Amoonguss first would have been better to Spore, but the problem with Amoonguss is if my opponent does have safety goggles on Volcarona. So, Max Overgrowth Duraludon, that's another tech move. Really interesting to see. Double Edge should KO the Volcarona, and Double is faster as well. Let's go. But it doesn't pick up the knockout. Oh no. Okay, and Flame Body activates. Well, that's not great, but they're just going for Struggle Bug, which we survive. Wow, I actually am shocked that didn't KO Volcarona, but I think we're still fine anyway, because Poly can only knock out one of 2 Pokemon right now. Unless it has Muddy Water, but it has Muddy Water, but we end up dodging it. Oh, jeez. Does that even KO Primarina? Okay, it does. The question then would have been, does Muddy Water actually KO Double? Because if so, we might have actually just lost right there and then. Because then it'd be Amoonguss 2v1. Although I think Amoonguss could actually pull the 2v1 in this scenario. But we definitely had our fair share of RNG this game. So we can go on an Amoonguss now. Yeah, given that we're faster than Volcarona, I think it's safe to just go Double Edge into that slot. I do want to calc how much Double was going to take damage-wise from that Muddy Water in rain. 150, 110. I'll calc it after this game. Because I think we would have survived. But hard to say for sure. Let's just Double Edge and Spore into Politoed. I can't believe Double Edge didn't knock out Volcarona, though. That's actually kind of surprising. So I guess Volcarona's just really bulky here. Does go for Protect. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see now if Muddy Water would have picked up the KO, because my opponent's presumably going for that here. Yeah. I think we're still fine, though, because now we can just... Oh, Double survived anyway. Okay, so I think we were fine regardless. The difference it would have made, though, is that my opponent could have just gone for this play, and then it would have been... like 2 Muddy Waters would have KO'd us, right? Now I can just Double Edge and Sludge Bomb into Volcarona. But the reason why I think we're fine anyway was because Amoonguss in this position has Sludge Bomb, and it has... And the rain is up, and we have the Koba Berry. So, no, you're not knocking out the Amoonguss with any attack, and an Amoonguss should win the 1v1 against the Politoed. So I think we were probably fine anyway, but just going to Double Edge and Sludge Bomb here. Once we KO Volcarona, there's no way the Politoed's going to... I mean, Politoed, I guess, actually could have Ice Beam. We've seen only Muddy Water and Helping Hand so far, so it wouldn't be crazy to think that the last 2 attacks are like Ice Beam and Protect, but this was a crazy game. I am curious on the item on the Ludicolo, right? Because we were at +1 special attack, so if it wasn't AV, then even without the crit, we were going to pick up the knockout, but if it were AV, then it would have survived. Looks like it's just going to opt for Struggle Bug, so that should seal up the game. That's Double, I was able to hang on. Nice. Came very close to knocking us out, though. Okay, so we get the Double Edge off. Does pick up the knockout, nice. And Sludge Bomb comes out. Now it's a 1v1. So Poly can still win if it wakes up and crits or freezes me with Ice Beam, if it has Ice Beam. Otherwise, we just Giga Drain our way to win. That was a crazy matchup. Okay, Rain's gone. That's not really too relevant here, because unless you don't have an Ice type attack, which could be the case. Polys normally run like one of Icy Wind or Ice Beam. Muddy Water, yeah, I was gonna say my opponent can't hit me unless they have Muddy Water. Both Pokemon earlier on, and they ended up having it. I was like, oh no. Okay, but they're only going for Muddy Water, so yeah, looks like they don't have Ice type attack, which is good. So that's where the rain stopping actually does help us. They could go for accuracy drops as well, but Giga Drain's a 2-hit KO. Wow, this was definitely a pretty crazy game. I'm glad Double came out. Outspeeding Volcarona is pretty neat as well, because it's max speed Double. Wasn't expecting Volcarona to be that bulky, so honestly wouldn't be surprised if we were like max HP, max defense there. I was like, I didn't think there was any way Double Edge wasn't picking up the knockout there, to be honest. So that caught me off guard. I haven't seen Muddy Water Politoed in a minute. Scald is just more common typically, because like Poly already doesn't do that much damage, and then Muddy Water's accuracy isn't that great either. So was surprised to see that come out. That was the only way my opponent could hit both of my Pokemon on that turn. So wish we could have seen the team there, because I wanted to figure out whether the crits and the the misses ended up mattering. I don't think the miss was too important because I think Amoonguss was going to be able to pull it off, but that crit definitely hurt if it were Assault Vested. Which I think would make sense because the Life Orb was already on the Duraludon. But I also think if my opponent just led Ludicolo, that would have been a near impossible matchup for us. So we somehow eke out of it, but, you know, definitely needed some RNG there. This is a fun team. The bottom 3 Pokemon I actually used in my VGC 2015 team. Like in October through November. I had Terrakion, Gengar, Bisharp, I think Hydreigon, Clef, and Amoonguss maybe was the team. But cool to see those. So it's interesting because there's a Weezing here. Which can obviously shut down my opponent's own abilities. I think the one kind of tough thing playing with this team is that there's not great speed control because there's actually no Trick Room on Dusclops or like a Tailwind or Airstream, so we're kind of just playing in like the mid-tier speed. Dusclops is interesting because it doesn't have Trick Room, but it bluffs the Trick Room, right? So it can catch players off guard. How do I beat Weavile Terrakion here? Amoonguss for beat up. Or sorry, Rage Powder. That's a start. Amoonguss Urshifu? Or Amoonguss Primarina? Let's try Amoonguss Urshifu. With Primarina and Arcanine in the back. Yeah. The main thing is getting through my opponent's Dynamax Pokemon. I think that's going to be pretty scary. And I think Terrakion's a really big threat because we don't outspeed it with anything. So at least Amoonguss can redirect attacks, and I can potentially... I don't want to lead Arcanine in the off chance my opponent just leads Bisharp outright. Bisharp Terrakion, for example, or Bisharp Gengar would be scary to see. But it is just Weavile and Terrakion, okay. I guess this actually isn't that great. We do have banned close combat, though. Or sorry, not banned, life or close combat. Huh. If you're my opponent, you're never going to go for beat up here. I think it's likely you actually go for Fake Out onto Amoonguss or just triple Axle it. So I kind of actually just want to hard switch into Arcanine and just close combat into the Terrakion. Actually, does close combat or Surging Strikes do more with the crits included in Surging Strikes? I would still think CC, but I'm actually not 100% sure about that. I'm going to go for close combat. I mean, they could go for Fake Out onto Urshifu here, but that would be kind of risky, I think, because I think Urshifu is very likely to Dynamax here often. Actually, I think the better play... I didn't need to save my Dynamax. I could have just maxed Urshifu and gone for Max Water here. Oh, yeah, and they end up Fake Outing Urshifu. It's Taunt Terrakion. Oh, that's so frustrating. That was pretty risky on their end, but it pays off. I should have maxed Urshifu, because now they can just beat up. But with the Intimidate, I actually don't think they KO my Urshifu. So I'm actually just going to Heat Wave, Max, and Rapid Flow. I just needed a Rapid Flow last turn. That was a bad play. Just to cover the Fake Out option. So, because if I had gone for that, we KO Terrakion, then we're actually in the clear with Urshifu. Like, Urshifu's just so good against the rest of my opponent's team. Taunt is interesting. So Terrakion always runs Close Combat Rock Slide and then Protect. And then the fourth move is pretty flexible normally. Weavile switches out, okay. Into Bisharp. I don't mind that at all. Yeah. I think this works out really well for us, actually. I'm surprised they didn't go for the beat up, but maybe they're like, I can't knock out the Urshifu anyway. But yeah, had I just maxed Urshifu turn 1, we would have been golden. I should have thought about that a little bit more. I got greedy because I was like, Max Primarina also looks really good against my opponent's entire team. So if I can just like get rid of the Terrakion immediately, then that just paves the way for Bisharp, or sorry, Primarina in the late game, and I can max it. But risk versus reward isn't worth it there because I had a super safe play of maxing Urshifu, right? It covers everything my opponent could do. So I should have maxed Urshifu turn 1. It's really exciting to finally use a team that focuses on like max Urshifu very frequently though. Life Orb, you know, is obviously like the perfect item for it. They actually go for Max Guard, but we have Urshifu out. That is a really good turn for us, especially because Bisharp isn't even sashed. I mean, I think Sash is on the Weavile. And we get the G-Max Rapid Flow off as well, so forgetting about the ability to attack through there. Doesn't actually pick up the KO, so it fell just short of the knockout. But now my opponent can't go for beat up onto their own Terrakion. I can see why they did that. Alright, we take those. This is the power of G-Max Urshifu. It's been so good for us in both games today. And I just needed to max the Urshifu turn 1, and I think if we just max turn 1, like, would have been really difficult for my opponent to come back, because they don't have much damage afterwards. You're not going to be maxing the Weavile or the Bisharp, so then you'd have to max, like, whatever the last Pokemon was. Anyway, that was funny. Oh boy, Zoroark. Zoroark, Charizard, Chansey, Toxtricity, Urshifu, and Gastrodon. Man, I just want Double to come out and get some boosts, but can't. Alright, Charizard looks real scary here. That looks like a problem. No Trick Room here, right? Nightshade Alley Switch, Pain Split, Helping Hand. Helping Hand's really good as support, though. Gastro's pretty scary here, though. It walls me pretty dang hard. Like, Gastro Charizard is what I'm worried about. I think Specs Arcanine with Snarl could actually be pretty valuable for us here, though. Kind of want to try Arcanine, Primarina, Urshifu in the back, and Amoonguss as the last one. Yeah, Double is very situational, and I personally need to get used to playing with non-Trick Room Dusclops. It's just not something I've ever used before, so. But I feel like you want to bring it in games where your opponent doesn't have like a ton of offense, and Urshifu alone is scary, because if it's Dark Urshifu, it's just going to be able to 2-hit KO us guaranteed. So I want to play around that option. Charizard, Chansey. Oh gosh. Chansey is what scares me here, right? Like, so I have Urshifu in the back. I think I'm actually just gonna Snarl and Hyper Voice turn 1. That covers the option of you switching to Gastrodon. Spec Snarl is interesting here, but I actually think it's a pretty solid play. Not the damage itself isn't great, but it's more to disrupt the special attackers. Oh gosh, Chansey stays in. I mean, the scary thing about Chansey is that it can like go for minimize an ally switch. However, this is why I didn't want to Dynamax turn 1. One way we can beat Chansey is just the late game where we bring out Urshifu and just dunk on it. Because we can't miss if we Dynamax Urshifu. So that's what I'm playing for. Okay, he does have Overgrowth. I don't know. I don't think this one-shots us though, right? Okay, good job, Primarina. That's huge. That's honestly huge. That's a great turn for us then. I could have Hydro Cannon here, but that would have been super, super risky. And once again, this is the... I keep forgetting about Weakness Policy. We just knocked out Charizard. I literally forgot about Weakness Policy. Don't tell me that KOs. No! Oh, it's Zoroark! Oh. I got baited so hard. Oh. It's so funny because yesterday I talked about how Dusclops was the imposter, and today, oh, that was so well played. No. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. What do we even do? Because, oh my goodness, Primarina was so good in this match, given that they brought Zoroark and they have Chansey in the back. Oh, and they outspeed with both of their Pokemon here. What do I even do? I think I have to go into Urshifu, Max Guard, and Snarl. I thought we were going to win the game just now, because I was like, oh my god, Hyper Voice. And I was like, wait, Chansey gets Sludge Bomb? Yeah, I think I'm going to Snarl Max Guard. They could obviously make a great read and double up onto Arcanine here, so let's see if they go for that. Oh, well played. Well played. I did not think about the Zoroark option. So I could have protected Primarina there. Would that have been better? Probably. It just like... Yeah, I didn't consider the Zoroark option at all. Primarina looked so dang good. Ah. But it makes so much sense, right? Why would you lead Chansey? I didn't even think about Zoroark as the lead. That's really cool. That was really cool. And that's the value of Zoroark. You can bait your opponent into making plays like that. Okay, they at least Airstream into the Max Guard, which is good. Spec Snarls are actually doing a fair amount, too. So we'll take that. Arcanine's probably gonna eat up a big attack here, though. They actually doubled up. Okay. Well, I'm curious if they can just KO Arcanine. With -2 special attack, I'm hoping we can survive against the Charizard. I'm gonna switch out here into Amoonguss because I don't want to be locked into Snarl if Urshifu goes down, and go for the Rapid Flow. Now they could switch out into Gastrodon if they have it, but I don't think they brought it. Maybe they did actually. Yeah, I don't know if this was a great play. Okay, they don't switch out though. It's good. Let's see how much this does. Is that a crit or? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, I'll call that justice for the crit in the first game and the RNG we had in that game. I am curious how much that Airstream and Sludge Bomb do, because I actually think we would have survived. If we survived, we actually have a pretty good chance at winning this game. Well, that's a shame. Let's calc it. Charizard into Urshifu, Dynamaxed. If there's one thing, though, it means you guys get another game, which is exciting. Urshifu has a little bit of bulk, 44, Dynamax. Max Airstream at -2 special attack. Oh, that was, yeah, wait. That was definitely not going to knock us out. Okay. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's just how the game goes sometimes. I guess it's actually still not technically over if because we know Chansey's in the back. It's not going to do much damage, and if it's like Gastro, maybe like Specs Arcanine could do something right now. That is so unfortunate though. But that's just how the Cookie Crumb bowls sometimes. I'm just going to Heat Wave here and Sludge Bomb, try to KO Charizard. If you're my opponent, you should actually switch the Charizard out here. But I think Specs Heat Wave maybe KO Zoroark. Yeah, they go for Fire Blast. A miss there would have been huge. And if I had Protect, I would have gone for it too. They have Taunt as well, yeah. Okay, we get the Heat Wave off. I don't even think Sludge Bomb KOs, but a Burn maybe? With the Taunt, though, there's not really much we can do. We needed Protect here on Amoonguss. We were able to pick up a double knockout, though, which is nice, but... Yeah. So if you're wondering how much Max Airstream does at -2 special attack, it's only 40 to 48%. So I think without the crit, we actually would have been in great shape this game. They did have Urshifu in the back, so maybe not as much. And Chansey was the last one, obviously. I mean, I'm just going to Giga Drain Heat Wave here. The only way we win is if Urshifu is slower than Arcanine, and then my opponent targets Arcanine, and I actually knock out the... Or if for some reason they're like... not Sash or AV, and Giga Drain just one-shots with Grassy Terrain. Chansey probably just is faster and is going to just Seismic Toss us anyway, but let's see. It's Life Orb. But yeah, there's Seismic Toss, yeah. We need to Protect. If we had Protect on Amoonguss, actually, we had a pretty good shot at this. Because then we could have just Protect Heat Waved. And then it would have been... And then I could just Rage Powder the Urshifu Heat Wave. So, yeah. I got baited into the Zoroark, though, so well played there. Alright, getting into our last match of the day. And after terrifying matches against Porygon-Z, Charizard, Terrakion, now all of them are on my opponent's team. Well, I don't think we want to against Porygon-Z, just Charizard and Terrakion. Oh, dear. Actually, though, this is where we could use the cool tech of Max Quake. Because if they lead Clef Porygon, one thing this team can do is just Max Quake Sludge Bomb Clef turn 1, which is really neat. So I think I want to go with that. Primarine in the back, and probably Arcanine as the last one, mainly for Snarls and a Charizard. Charizard's looking pretty scary here, I'm not going to lie. So if my opponent leads like Charizard Clef, might have to press the panic button. We'll see. Either way, though, it's a very hyper-offensive team where you've got like just 3 really strong sweepers in Charizard, PZ, and the... What's the last Pokemon I'm missing? Terrakion, yeah. Terrakion Amoonguss. Okay. Actually, I mean, this is not bad at all, because I pressure with Spore onto the opposing Terrakion, right? Unless they're Goggles, which could be the case. They're probably going to want to Spore into the Urshifu here. I could dig here. I could dig. But if I lose Urshifu, that's probably my best max option against my opponent's team. I could also switch Urshifu out into Arcanine. And Spore Terrakion turn 1. I think that's a decent option, actually. Yeah, because if I put the Terrakion to sleep, then Amoonguss, even if you Spore Arcanine, doesn't pressure me with damage. Arcanine and Amoonguss would have been a nice lead for us here, because then I just pressure Specs Heat Wave, and then Heat Wave Spore turn 1. But, felt a little passive to me. Oh my god. More Taunt Terra... Is this like a thing now? I guess so. Okay, well, that's not great. Especially if it's like policy on the Terrakion, but I think here I actually have to just suck it up and Heat Wave and Giga Drain. I did not expect to see so many Taunt Terrakions now, but I guess that's the common fourth move specifically to beat Amoonguss, which makes a lot of sense. So Arcanine Amoonguss would have been a sick lead for us here. They're going to switch out, okay. Charizard maybe? Porygon-Z, okay. I mean, if we get a Wake Up with Arcanine next turn, that'd be huge. Like, this is still totally doable. So this is modest Amoonguss. We just did, like, 50% to PZ. Okay. We're gonna Heat Wave here. And Sludge Bomb, I think. It's still scary, though, because I don't have much damage for the Amoonguss right now. They're maxing. I mean, if we Wake Up here with Arcanine, I actually think we just win the game this turn. So, let's see. Can Arcanine pull up the spicy Wake Up right now? Oh, I wish I let Arcanine. I should have expected Taunt. Like, we even saw it earlier today. Giga Drain would have been so sick there. I can't believe how much it did into the PZ there. That was insane. Arcanine wakes up, and it gets the Specs Heat Wave off. Let's go! Okay, it doesn't do that much, but I don't need to do that much. Like, that's fine. This is Chaos. It does KO. Okay, maybe we're not fine then. That's the problem with the Amoonguss not running much bulk. Because, like, now... I get put back to sleep. I thought Heat Wave would do a little bit more there. But, you know what? It was still hype. I do think maybe running, like, Flamethrower or Overheat... Oh, actually, does Arcanine have Overheat? I don't remember. Flamethrower would be more valuable, maybe. But I can totally see why it has all this coverage. Do I dig with Urshifu? I actually think I do use dig here. Because, like, if you're my opponent, I think you just go Rage Powder and Max Strike into Urshifu. Or I could just Max Quake, right? I don't know if that one-shots Amoonguss. I guess that's the problem. If I dig here, it burns another turn of Dynamax. But then they can KO Urshifu the next turn. I actually like the idea of dig here. Because I really do think you should go Rage Powder, Max Strike into Urshifu. I'm sad Amoonguss got one shot there. I was thinking he could survive. Wow, they just Max Strike the Arcanine. Interesting. That might help us a little bit, though. And I'll tell you why. Because now PZ goes first. So you have to Max Strike into Primarina. Yeah. The question is, do I want to conserve my Dynamax right now? Oh. I really thought they'd have to double up there. But I guess what they were thinking is I can knock out Arcanine and then Max Strike Urshifu on the last turn, which honestly makes a lot of sense too. I mean, you always Max Strike Primarina here, so... Dig's going to PZ. I think we max Primarina and guard. I want a Starfall so bad. We might actually have to Starfall. Yeah. They switched Amoonguss out! Wait, that's huge. Okay. I mean, they were expecting Dig into that slot, I'm sure. The problem is that we still eat up a Max Strike and take so much damage, and I think Rotom's still so good against what we have that probably doesn't end up mattering, but let's see. What if I Max Guarded there? Maybe that would have been the better play. I think Rotom still beats us, unfortunately. There's Max Strike. Oh, that's just so much damage, man. Yeah, I mean, we'll KO PZ and get a Starfall off, but it's not enough. Unless we one-shot the Rotom here, but I don't think it's a one-hit KO. Man, we got the Wake Up, I was so hyped, but then the Spore just came back out. Yeah, I don't think Starfall's a one-hit KO here. Rotom's just so bulky. Oh my goodness, it was so close! That was so close! What? Overgrowth would have finished it off, but we don't have it here. Although Overgrowthing into an Amoonguss switch, that's kind of a tough read to make anyway. Terrakion comes back out. Oh, I really wish I had Aqua Jet right now. We could still win this if they mess. I mean, you should always Thunderbolt into Urshifu. But I think at this point we just have to hope for a throw more than anything. I wish I Max Strike there. Yeah. I have to hope for some reason you don't target Urshifu, you try to double up on Primarina, and I get a KO on the Rotom. Maybe Max Guard was the move there. Okay, they go for Rock Slide. Because I think here you'd have to worry about Urshifu protecting, and then you'd want to target down the Primarina. Okay. That's what we want to see. I went for Surging Strikes instead of Close Combat because I don't want the defense drop. Let's see how much we do. Yeah, that should be a KO. Okay. Was it right to target Terrakion there? No, I don't think so. I think the way we played that was fine. Question now is whether... Because my opponent can just Close Combat Rage Powder. But I can Max Strike... Actually, we want a Geyser here, I think. Yeah, I think it's Geyser Surging Strikes here. This is actually really close. I don't... Is Amoonguss gonna be... is Terrakion gonna be sashed here? They don't have beat up on the team, so I would think so. Okay, so I mean, that last turn played out how I needed it to. They didn't have a guaranteed safe play there, actually, so totally can understand why they went for that. Yeah, Amoonguss Rage Powders, that's expected. They do go for CC. Is that KO? Oh, Urshifu survives! It survives! But do I KO Amoonguss with Surging Strikes and Geyser? I don't think so. It's pretty close. Oh, I actually think we do. Oh, but Urshifu faints, so now you just Rock Slide. Is there any other play to have gone for there? Well, now it's a question of what item you are on Terrakion. If you're not Sash, and you either miss Rock Slide or Rock Slide doesn't KO us, Hyper Voice KOs in return. Let's see. I think we are in Rock Slide KO range, to be honest. Well played. Well played by my opponent. This is a fun game. Yeah, I think we'll faint, unfortunately. Alright, they could always miss. And maybe we could actually survive. Okay, connects. Does not survive. I'm guessing it was Sash Terrakion anyway. That's why if I just Giga Drain... I mean, I guess actually, even if it were Sash, we would have lost anyway. Maybe Max Guarding against PZ would have been the play, because then I don't take all that damage with Primarina and it hangs on for a little bit longer. But that was a really fun game one way or another, so yeah, no complaints. Porygon-Z is... So, like, Urshifu Amoonguss is really good against the PZ lead specifically. I don't know, can I dig turn 1? No, I don't think so. I should have Giga Drained Terrakion instead of Sporing, though. But the problem with Giga Draining is if they Dynamax Terrakion and they have weakness policy, then we kind of just get swept by it. But I think Giga Drain would have been better there. Or even just Surging Strikes, like, onto the Terrakion slot. But PZ is a pretty scary matchup if you don't get the Urshifu Amoonguss duo off. Because the idea is that if they lead PZ Clef, you can Max Quake Sludge Bomb. But my opponent led with the Amoonguss. So Arcanine could have been nice as well, but Heat Wave actually didn't really do as much as I expected into Amoonguss, even with the Choice Specs. So it's not like we can one-shot anyway there. So the main thing is that I got put to sleep, and the Porygon-Z was also doing a ton of damage, but some cool plays there. That last match was really close. If I had Protect on the Urshifu, I don't think it would have made much of a difference, because the Amoonguss provides that redirection support. So yeah, the main thing also was my Amoonguss just kind of fainting to PZ, because if it survives and it gets the Sludge Bomb off, Porygon faints and we should win. So out of curiosity, actually, I do want to calc how much that does, and whether it's a guaranteed KO or not. Because we were at full HP, but we don't have any special defense investment, so I wouldn't be shocked if it were a guaranteed KO. So Porygon-Z into Amoonguss with no special defense, max HP. I think that's a KO. You should be timid instead of modest. That's a damage roll, actually. If they're modest, or sorry, if they're timid, max special attack. Against max HP 0 speed F Amoonguss, it's a 75% chance to one-shot. So, we needed a lot to go right there, because we needed to get the Wake Up with the Arcanine and survive there. So, the odds weren't in our favor anyway. And that's the thing. I needed to lead anti-Amoonguss stuff more, but I don't know what the right answer would have been here. I think maybe... It's not Dubwool, it's not Dusclops, so I think Primarina could actually come out as a lead, so I can just Starfall turn 1. Like, if you think about it, if I lead Primarina Amoonguss, I can Starfall Giga Drain turn 1. And then I at least get up terrain and then have Amoonguss for support next to the Primarina. Arcanine also could have been good because I can at least just launch a Heat Wave turn 1 and get a ton of damage onto Amoonguss. So, yeah. But that was a fun game for sure. Yeah, well played by my opponent as well. So, that's me for this one. Thank you so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. Alright, peace.